Hi everyone, guess where we are? We are at Bryce Canyon National Park. That's where we are camping. We're out on a little ride with Blue right there. And we just want to show you a couple of things. We're standing right by the Tropic Reservoir. We'll show you that in just a minute. And for those of you that have been with us for a little while, may remember that last time we were up here at this reservoir, Jim and I got separated. We were each on our own four-wheeler machines, and somehow we got separated, and I was a little panicky and you were a little panicky, and
I was going 55 miles an hour down the dirt road with all the bumps and everything looking for you.
Yeah, but anyway, we got reunited, and now we don't have that problem because we're both in the same machine. So I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see the Tropic Reservoir. So here it is through the trees, and we will give you a better look at it. It was almost overflowing its banks last time we were here, and Jim walked out to the dam and the spillway was just gushing. But it is now down about 3 feet, I think it looks like. So
that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a year or so ago or more.
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway, we're having a lovely time. We've been here since yesterday. We set up camp, and we were pretty exhausted last night, so we didn't do any videoing. But we have some good news about our navigation system. So we're walking closer to the drop-off.
So let's go down there. We get a
This
better
way?
view. Yeah.
We're up in the tall pines, and you may hear the wind. Oh, actually, we should probably put our wind blockers on these.
Well, you want to go back and do that?
Let's do it for the next stop. We're
Okay.
probably okay for
We should be okay.
right now.
The wind is only howling 20 miles an hour.
It was pretty bad at the trailer this afternoon.
Yeah, it was.
So here we are. Here's a better view of it.
So why don't you hold my hand and we'll go down a little bit right here.
Why don't you take the camera and go down a little bit right there?
Okay. If I fall in, let me know. So what we have is we have the Tropic Reservoir here. I'm going to go down a little bit closer toward the embankment, and we can get a better view of what it looks like. I'll go down a little farther. Ah, there's a nice place. It's kind of slippery, lots of rocks. And, well, we could stop here, actually, and see people out there on their little watercraft. We come back up and we're able to see the topography and the trees. And, oh, here's Pam.
And I have your little wind blocker.
Okay.
So we have really good news with our navigation system. This is my very old iPad, and we downloaded that trail GPS map app that my son-in-law recommended. He is the one who sold us Blue, and so he works in the business. And we have been out of cell range for probably the last 4 or 5 miles. And I just wanted to show you, even though we're out of cell range, now I downloaded onto the iPad a set of maps for this area, but that's not what we're using. They're still in my other folder. We are using the one that is live with the app, and you might be able to see our red breadcrumbs here. It is still working really great, and this is where we are parked right here. And I can get our coordinates if necessary, and it's putting down these breadcrumbs even though we are out of cell range completely. So it's pinging satellites and working just fine. We're going to continue testing it. If we like it as much as I think we're going to, then we'll share it with you so that you can also take advantage of that if that's something that you might need. Good morning. This is our last full day at camp, and we're trying to decide what it is exactly we would like to do. This is our camp. You can probably tell that I go au natural when I camp. No makeup, no hair fixing, just getting out of the shower and scrunching my hair. So it's nice to not be under the pressure of all of that. So this is such a beautiful place. I'm going to turn the camera around and kind of give you a view of what we've got here. So here is our camp, just nestled in among these beautiful trees. We're here with all the big guys. You can see this. There's multi-millions of dollars worth of equipment in this campground. There's Blue hiding around the corner, all dusty from yesterday's wonderful ride that we had. We have our bikes that are cabled to our table for safekeeping. We're going to go up into the park today and give you a view of some of the things there. There's a lovely little lake right over there. We are in Ruby's Inn campground. We're looking straight over to Ruby's Inn. The campground is about a quarter of a mile farther on. So we had a good night last night. The first night we didn't have enough blankets on our bed or turn the heat on and we froze. So last night we were a little smarter. We had a great night. So we're off to head into the park and we will share a few views of beautiful Bryce Canyon with you. So we are coming into the park. A photo op for almost everybody that comes into the park. We're going to forgo it and just do a drive-by. Bryce Canyon National Park. It is so beautiful and so restful. And we'll be at the check-in point in just a couple minutes. We have wildlife right here, a little deer. So we just found a great parking spot. Yay, we can usually never find one. This is Sunset Point, and Jim suggested that we come early this morning so that we could beat the crowds, and it looks to me like we have.
Just barely.
Yes, it's filling up fast. All right, so should we head up? So here we are, started up the trail. Warning, warning, warning. Dangerous cliffs, watch your children. Stay in your car during lightning storms. No pets, bicycles. Do not leave valuables in your car. Well, my purse is in the car. I don't think we're going to go very far anyway.
You don't look like you're going to be able to make it very far.
So we are at 8,000 feet, and I do struggle at higher elevations. It's a heavenly 64 degrees. And here we are.
Spire City.
How gorgeous this is. Such a beautiful place. We're not going to be doing any hiking. Hiking at this altitude now is beyond me.
So let's go down to the other point and then we'll turn around and come back.
We can probably walk down to that other turn.
How far do you want to go?
This is good.
Okay.
It's incredible to me that a month from tomorrow is my 80th birthday. And while I think I do pretty well for an 80-year-old, I wish I did even better. Oh, well, look at this with the sun directly on it, how gorgeous it is. Well, this is spectacular. And one of our favorite things to do is to drive all the way up to the top of the scenic drive. So that's what we'll do. We may stop again. There are some other places along the way that we really like. So back to the car?
Yeah, back to the car.
So what are we going to do, Jim? Not go to the car right now?
I prevailed upon Pam to be able to go to the next, turn or something like that. Just get another shot of what the spires look like.
And you're holding my hand to
and
be
I'm
sure.
holding your hand so you don't fall off the side.
Okay, this is a ponderosa pine. And anytime, I love ponderosas, they're my favorite pine. Anytime you see bark like this that is a little bit orange, you know that this tree is over 100 years old. I have cored many, many trees in my scientific lifetime. And with ponderosas, and these are all ponderosas in through here, the orange bark indicates over 100 years old. So I'm not the oldest living thing on this trail. Oh, this is the little scary point. It wraps all the way around.
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad
noticed.
you prevailed on us, Jim, to come out
Prevail? Prevail? I have no idea what that even means. Wow. Let me see if I can get something out here. There we go. It's a little bit better. Get you a better span. And there are people down there. We can see them. Oh, there they are. Walking down in the canyon. Wow.
These are some pictures we've not ever gotten before.
No, they are.
We haven't ever been out to this point.
No, we haven't.
Yeah. And then all the way around.
Yeah, I'm going.
Here we are in beautiful Bryce Canyon.
And all the spires.
Yes, just my hair matches.
Yeah, it must. Yeah,
The
yeah. That's why I
formations.
married you. It's
I
why
blend
fell
right
love
in
with you.
the
Yeah.
colors here. Okay,
You
now
ready?
back to the car.
Back to the car now.
For real
Yeah,
this
for
time.
real. Yeah.
Okay.
Although.
So here is another viewpoint where we often stop. A lightning struck tree right there.
Is that what that is?
Yes,
Got it good.
it really did. Killed it ultimately. Another lightning struck tree down there.
Yeah, right there.
That's why they say stay in your car if thunderstorms come, because lightning is pretty prevalent up here.
Beautiful view.
Beautiful view onward, ridge after ridge. Onward?
Wow. Onward. Upward.
So it looks like we are coming up on an area where it may have been lightning that started the fire, but it was transferred to other trees, and this is what we have left. But there's lots of new growth coming. Isn't that just such a wonderful thing? There's always new growth. There's always new growth in our lives when things go wrong, or bad, or south, or sad. There's new growth in nature always coming. So here we are at Natural Bridge, elevation 8627. This will be our last stop on the viewpoint trail. So let's go over to the edge and see what we can find. Oh, I just found a very handsome man.
Hi, how are you? I hadn't noticed you there.
Oh, right, okay. This is one of our favorite stops. And it is because of that natural bridge right down there. Isn't that glorious? Okay, here's a full-on picture. Okay, so here we are. just over our shoulder is the natural bridge.
Get a better shot in a moment. Okay. Frame the tree. See what's down there.
So we are here at the visitor center. Usually we bypass the visitor center. We've been through it so many times. But when I started talking about how old the orange bark ponderosa pines were, Jim got so interested in tree rings. And I thought that he had been with me when I had cored a tree before, and he never has. So we are here to see if we can find illustrations and books and things on tree rings. And then I'm going to go through my old equipment and find a corer, and we will do a separate video on how to core a pine tree. So I think Jim is excited. So we're going to go inside and see what we can find. Here's a little corner of books, so maybe we can find something on tree coring here. It wraps around the corner there. So we'll see what we can find. Well, sadly we found nothing. Not in the exhibits, not in the books. So we're going to go back to the trailer and see what we can find on the computer for Jim. All right, we're back at camp, and usually in these videos we feature food, and we haven't done so this time, and probably not going to. So we've learned quite a few things on this trip, and I wanted to share with you. One of the things that we talked about in our last video on being safe out there was to know your limitations, and that certainly has applied to us on this trip. We pretty much blew it before we ever left home, because the 3 days prior to our leaving were just filled with us overexerting ourselves. Jim was doing sprinkler work outside, working in the heat for longer periods of time than he usually works. I was working all over the property and in the kitchen and getting things ready, and usually we do it a little bit piecemeal, getting ready, and the couple of days before we leave we get the trailer loaded, but not this time. We saved it all for the last minute. And I made my menu early, and it was a simple menu because we had most of the things already on hand in our pantry or freezer, and so that part was quite easy. But honestly, we were exhausted before we ever left home, and the morning that we left, we loaded the last stuff. It took us about 4 hours to get everything loaded and tied down and ready to leave, and we were just spent. And by the time we got to camp that first day, I looked at the menu and it said for supper, steaks, potatoes, green salad, and we would have had to pull out the cob grill, start the charcoal, do all of that, and we were too tired to move. So what we did on this particular trip is that we just decided to take it a lot easier than usual and to just slow down and relax, and I flipped my menu all around. Instead of having steak that first night, we needed something easy to fix. And so I switched our menu for tonight to that day, which was tacos. And to fix those tacos, I opened a pint of taco meat, warmed it up, and then we just added things from the refrigerator. The lettuce and tomatoes, they were already cut up, and the sour cream and the tortillas were in the freezer. I got them out in time to thaw, and it was a simple 15-minute prep. And then we went to bed and we slept terribly. And so I have switched around our menus. The other things were, I brought one of our pizza packs, and I showed a pizza pack on a previous video because we were also going to do that on the cob. And we just have the don'ts. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And so that pizza pack is going to stay frozen, and it will go back in our home freezer when we get home. And I've switched around meals. We're having hot dogs instead, which is a simple prep. And so sometimes being flexible with your menus and having things on hand to do a quick prep if necessary. We always travel with a quart of beef stew for a meal that we need, and so we might break that out for dinner tonight. I'm not sure. And we've skipped breakfast because we just aren't hungry and don't feel like fixing breakfast. So this trip has been a recovery trip for us. Mostly we have just enjoyed the scenery. We open up the back of our trailer, it drops down, the ramp drops down halfway and creates a little backyard patio for us, and we've enjoyed having that open, and we've rested and relaxed instead of being under so much pressure to go, go, go. So we have talked about plans for next time and how we're going to do things just a little bit different for the packing up part, stretching it out over 2 or 3 days instead of last minute trying to load everything in just a few hours. Flexible menus are really, really important. Rethinking whether or not we want to do things on the Cobb grill. We really enjoy grilled food, but sometimes it's not practical for us if our energy is spent on other things. We had a glorious ride yesterday in Blue. That was really, really fun. Today we went into the park and enjoyed the park like we always do. In a little while we're going to go on a bike ride. We have our bikes cabled to this table right here, and we'll head out on a little bike ride, but we're just going to take it easy. And then tonight we're going to start doing preliminary things to pack things up and get things prepared so that we can have an easier day as we leave in the morning. So those are some of the things that we've learned on this trip, and we're so glad that you came along with us. We've had really a great time. It's been more relaxation than go, 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 which is exactly what we needed. So thank you so much for being with us, and because of Jim's curiosity, we're going to be doing a video soon on how to core a tree. He said, well, can't you core any tree? And you can, but there are some limitations that I have chosen to stick with in my coring, and I'll share those with you on that video. So we'll get all set up and do that video. I think it will be a fun one. So thanks for being with us, and we're headed home in the morning, and we'll see you again very soon out there on the trail.